Yeah, I was a Boys Club member since 2007. Yeah. Thanks to Mr. Ponte and the other Boys Club staff for getting me into St. Mark's. And it was a dope experience. Changed my life.
What do you think makes hip-hop what makes it so special to you?
What makes hip-hop so special is that you could use this culture as a platform to speak up and create changes how you create it. Hip-hop is all about peace, love, unity, and having fun and making a difference. And I feel like if you use hip-hop correctly, we can make a difference in the world.
Not just how it inspired, but how you guys actually just started. How did you guys get the huge building in New York City? How did that all happen?
It was a long journey, tough journey, because in the beginning, 13, 14 years ago, people was like, why would you want to build a hip-hop museum? Hip-hop, doesn't make sense to have a museum for hip-hop. It doesn't make sense. So my dad had to go do a lot of car rides to Albany, talking to government, saying, hey, this is important. We need to have this. People want this, and we need to have it because this culture has changed the world, transformed the world. So having meetings on top of meetings, it led to where government was like, all right, we probably gotta give him some money because he's coming here almost every week. Give him some money, and by giving him some money, it led to people to say, hey, this guy is actually getting the ball rolling, so maybe we should support him, and getting the momentum of more support help people realize that this is gonna happen without us anyway. So we just gotta jump on the bandwagon, and here we are today.
So you shared the public housing piece on the museum. Can you tell us how that came about?
Yeah, so my dad's whole mission is to bring the true essence of the culture, and a lot of people wanted to build hip-hop museums, but he wanted to do something different, right? And we were just gonna build a hip-hop museum, but it just didn't work out. But it eventually got to a part where there was a vacant land, nothing was going to be built. So a real estate agent person said, hey, we want to build this museum as well. And my dad was like, yeah, this is pretty good too. And then they added the housing portion. But my dad was like, the only way I'm going to do this housing portion is if you're going to make this affordable housing for the community. It took us some time, and they were like, hey, this is a no-brainer. We'll do that. So.
Started the museums, I guess it's always been part of your life, or something that got you into hip-hop.
Yeah, so, I necessarily didn't start it, but my dad started 14 years ago, and he's been a hip-hop head since day one. And, I would say 7-10 years ago, my dad was doing everything, right? And he didn't have an operational budget, so he was doing social media. And as you know, the older generation not necessarily good at social media. So I took over the reins, and I was able to grow that 2,000 followers following to 78,000 followers, I believe now, right? My dad would take me to all his block parties. All his friends would tell their stories about hip hop, and that's kind of how I fell in love with hip hop. So I knew the importance of what he was doing, and it led to where we are today.
Could you talk about the new exhibits that will be upcoming across the street?
Gotcha. So in our future museum, it's going to be 53,000 square feet, where we'll showcase all parts of hip hop history. So the exhibits is just going to be very tech savvy, right? Where we want people to feel engaged and feel like they're immersed into the story, right? I could talk about hip hop all day long, but not a lot of people want to hear from a kid that has a young face, right? A guy that has a young face. They want to hear from people that actually lived the time period. They want to hear from Slick Rick, hear his stories. So we're going to use a lot of technology to tell a lot of the hip hop people stories and have people feel like they're really getting firsthand knowledge from those people.